Okay, it snows in Australia. How's it? I'll be ibuprofen. Alright, bad joke. In the negatives. Alright, this track... Whoops, stand by. I make you boo-boo. This track is called Phantasm by the Altons. And he's saying, good music. This is going to be good music, so let's do good music. It snows in Australia. Happening for that. Here we go. All right. Not easy stuff to do in tempo with that guitar work in there. Giving us time to kind of sink in the groove. Giving me little Radiohead vibes. Little dissonance with the background vocal. A little bit at this point. It's a little kind of smoky sludge, right? Okay, now they brought it back out, you know. But that last section, that last 16 bars. That was bizarre. I would never have the stamina to do what that guitar player doing. Post-rock, okay, gotcha. Chicken skin for the win. The guitar landing on that particular note or something, or with his fretting, he was. This was a trippy track. I liked just the groove that it was getting in. This is just kind of had the looper vibe into it, just getting us to sink into some kind of pseudo, kind of a subliminal pattern. But the pattern was really set by the guitar player. Doing that, which I could have never done. I'd be lucky if I can get away with 16 measures of doing that without me falling on or slowing down or speeding up. But that was to me the trance, not trance in the genre, but trance kind of, getting yourself just in a vibe arrangement through the whole thing. And the melodies, the long, wah, ooh, that was very nice. And there was some very unique little microtonal fun, I'd like to call it, that was happening there. But it looks like the whole thing was just a really nice, this would have been a great track to open up a session, if these guys were playing at a small venue or something like that. To get everybody to just kind of come, sit, stay, chill, So, but I liked that, the pattern the guitar player was playing was really super cool, and that to me was the thing that it kind of locked into. The dissonance. I didn't say that I hated it. Did I say I hated it? I didn't say I hated it. I just said I recognized it. That's the thing, is that there's no. A lot of times in live performances and stuff. You're going to get things that happen in live performances that one might say, "Are they out of tune?" Or the other one or somebody might say, "Wow, that was a really cool effect." As a matter of fact, my very first journey truly with Radiohead was trying to figure out what was going on with one of their instruments. I go, "Is this microtonal? What's going on?" Because it feels like it takes you out of place. But come to find out, that's part of their gitch, is the microtonal movement. So just it's the same thing. It's like when you're playing live, there are things that are going to happen that are not going to be 100%, excuse me, locked in. Yes, a little pitchy, but I don't even, sometimes I don't even like to say pitchy, because you guys know me. I try to be always super positive. I could be batshit crazy and really give the people's elbow to things that I think might go, what the fuck is that? But it doesn't serve any purpose, as much as me really just enjoying the artwork as a free flow form, especially when it's live. So that's, yeah, and no, dissonance isn't a bad thing. Dissonance is actually a great thing when it's used purposefully, and when I say that, if it's used purposefully to give you that vibe of a little bit of discomfort. And dissonance doesn't mean pitchy either. I just said there was a couple times there where they sang, in unison, or when they were singing their harmonies, that there was a little bit of movement in the tone. It was a safe way to say, and I didn't know what the intentions were, so that's what that meant. So, so that's their thing. They're built on. Okay, so that answers everything right there. I like these conversations; they're fun, because I'm always in the learning process, for myself too. I think one of the things that I've had people early on in the Decomposer Lounge call me out on, is that where people would be talking about how shitty something may have sounded in other reactors or whatever, I'll just glass over it, because that's not the focus point of the body of work. Matter of fact, I was listening to Danny Carey, one of the Tools thing, very early on, where Danny Carey, the camera's on Danny Carey. I forget the song he's doing. And he actually, if you think about it, in one of his fills, kind of made a mistake. If you're listening to it drums, I didn't respond to it verbally, but somebody saw me go like this, I didn't lean into it. Because there was so much magic going on there that if one part of the tom fill was slightly off or mishit on the rim or whatever the case was, just for me listening to it, and it got to that part, and I went, And somebody actually commented, put the little marking in my eyes, goes, I concur with you in the eye movement. So, that's just my thing, So, let's continue on. Next up, Z-Man 2008, Professor Layton. See what this is here. The Unwound Future from Z-Man. All right. And by the way, thank you all. I haven't been thanking you all. This has been Dono Makeups, and these are all donations coming through. And thank you all so much for the donations. I've been kind of remiss about mahaloing you for that. I don't know why. Maybe I'm out of sorts. But thank you all very much. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, let's do this. Here we go. Oh, I did one already from here. Loved it. I think recently, too. I love this. It's like going through evidence, that kind of vibe. Very. I love this. This is great. This is video game music. This is just mind-numbing. It's just beautiful. Or is it anime? I'm sorry. Very fun, basic chord changes going there, but a lot of room to shred. It's game. Okay. Those little trapeze. I just can't imagine this being a song that would loop in a video game or something. Play the ride, just... I pick out the little things. That was a really super fun track. Great build. Started off really intimate and fun. It had, like I said earlier, a very detective kind of vibe to it. Of course, I think I could have been a little influenced by the picture. But even without looking at it, it had that like sifting through things kind of vibe. And once again, this is just blow away number 5,227 on the kind of music that these people who do video games want to have in their music. I want to have in their games. And it's it's got to be such a wonderful honor for these composers too, to get the opportunity to compose like this for video games. It's almost like, you know, the Hollywood machine always had the kung fu grip on, you know, movies and TV and composers, and that was the funnel. I think I may have said this before. I think one of the unique things is that during the era of Hollywood, from its beginning days, or the very first time it had music in movies, all the way to probably, let's give it just a straight 25 years ago, pretty much that funnel for composers was it, unless you were going to do smaller little things like I did with my career, which was just, you know, commercials and music libraries and stuff, you know. And then these video games pop out, and not only does it give these composers an opportunity to participate in a media that yet was growing, right? It was like we didn't know video games, it's a lot, well, we're selling a lot to what it's turned into. That there's this unilateral embrace between how important music is to a video game, i.e. how important music is to a movie, and the choices that you might make and what composer or what style or what sound you might use in a movie. The same for the video games. You know, except I find personally, in the short journey that I've taken, that the composers for video games have a much broader opportunity to express their composing abilities. Beyond, it's almost like, you know, if you listen to some of the composers, it's like you can listen to Danny Elfman's work and you can detect things from the past, but that's only 50% of, I believe that's probably only 50% of who he is as a composer, that he has in him other things to express but may not have had the movie or the opportunity, or maybe he tried it in a movie and the director was like, that's not what we're looking for or whatever. But the video game world really gives you a lot of flexibility to kind of drift around, especially the long series ones, you know, Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Infinity, or anything that has those kind of legs that grow through it. So, you know, it just blows me away. I'm just, you know, it's insanely wonderful to hear this kind of music. Next up, another game, Gilded Wars. This is from Zeit Logic. And this track is called, did I say Gilded Wars 2? And this track is called Battle of the Breachmaker. And, oh, Lena Raines. Okay, thank you so much. Looking forward to this. All right. So this must be a part in the game where there's like group battle, maybe not one-on-one. It sounds a little more composed for multiple things happening. Why did I say I said Gilded Wars. Yeah, I make my mistakes. I know. Sorry. It sounded like a little bit of a harmonic clash between the timpani tone and when that French horn got down there. I don't know if anybody heard that. Kind of that, like, Dracula-esque macabre kind of vibe to it. Little film noir-ish. Not as bright as a piano as this, but... Does anybody remember where this was in the game, this music? I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Like I said earlier, if this was a... Doesn't sound like a boss fight, but maybe a battle arena or something. It is a boss fight, okay. Oh, with multi-phases, okay, gotcha. This makes me curious to hear what the rest of the music sounds like in between boss fights. If this is the emphasis, if this is a composition of emphasis, what do the other ones sound like that are a lot less? Okay. This must be like the last phase of the bigger boss, or of the boss fight or something. Oh, different composers. Last breath of the boss being taken there or something. Repetitive patterns right there, really nice builds and stuff like that, but obviously this was something that was just to keep you rhythmically in just your head into the game. Very sparse arrangements for a boss fight, though I'm not like some aficionado on how boss fights should sound or something. I just think that with some of the composers, I'm hearing more bolder bottom ends, albeit timpanis or percussive works or horn works. But this does keep you in that tense. Remember, it kind of, I even said it, because of my interpretation of the composition being a little more sparse than what I would consider as a boss fight piece. I thought this in my mind. I said, okay, maybe this is a battle, but maybe it's like a few people in the lobby battling a bunch of like other mutants or whatever the case is, because of just the sparseness of it. But come to find out that it's a boss fight. So, and you guys are saying this is early, Lena, and so I think that's really cool that Lena's been around. Now, wait a second. Did I think it was Lena Raines? Did I say that even at the beginning? Did I really blow this? I guess Lena Chappelle. Either way, that was my take on it. So, and I guess there are many composers. Oh, it's the same person. Oh, maybe she got married. Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying. Thank you for clarifying that, though, Turnip. Excuse me. So, yeah. Okay, I just spaced out. All right. Next up, quote me if... Well, I'm not going to try to say this profile name because I have to open the whole message box in order to see it. This is coming from, quote me if violated TOS. This is from, I guess this is a band, Caracal? Caracal. And the name of the song is Deserters. Hi, Jeebs. I'm a viewer from faraway Singapore. Well, welcome. That's super cool. Music transcends around the world. This is some rock from my country. Not too many people know about my country's music. I'd be super happy if you could check it out. So I'm going to right now. So let's do this. And let's see what if I say it wrong, you guys know. I know you guys were teasing me about saying things wrong and stuff. Y'all know I'm dyslexic. That's almost like part of the side salad that you get when you come in for the Abbacado shows. You know I'm going to say things wrong. All right, guys. Let's do this. This is a band from Singapore. Let's go. Watch out, flashing lights. And a goldfish. Oh, that bass tone. Brr. Great guitar arrangements going on here. The pattern on the guitar was great on this side. Great build into this pseudo blast beat. Ooh, what a voice. I love that brass section back there.
Did you get what you want? Only suffered. And do you live where you want? Are you bothered? So will you come back for more? Are you finished? Or will you spend
God, that low dive on the bass, man.
for the punished? Like the land to the slaughter, we're just nowhere forever.
can't tell you how much I love the fact that they've infused the brass section in here. Is there more? Yes. This is really nice.
Is this hell or is this home? Are we all alone? Will you still remember me long after you're gone?
That trumpet is so cool.
Is this hell or is this home? Are we all alone? Will you still remember me long after you're gone? Call me a face, I walk in calamity, mix up the names, praising and effigy. Call me a face, I walk in calamity, mix up the names, praising and effigy. Is this hell or is this home? Are we all alone? Will you still remember me long after
I love the tones in her voice.
How should I
Nice little sizzle up there.
Can you remember the pain? Once it's over, what the hell's gone wrong? When I can't feel it all in the place that I'm from. Can you remember the pain? Once it's over, what the hell's gone wrong? When I can't feel it all in the place that I'm from. Can you remember the pain? Once it's over, do you remember the pain? Now it's over. How should I eliminate myself again for you?
He had a fishing bowl, now he's got a cigarette. You know what? This, first of all, it sounded great. One of the things that I was really enjoying, by virtue of how it was mixed, that when the part of the track that came in, when the guy comes in with the more growled approach to it, and because it wasn't purposely or not, whatever the case is, because it wasn't mixed in more of a contemporary flooded technical way, is the best way to say it, that the authenticity of that pseudo blast beat section was a lot more raw. You know, instead of scalpel cleaning it up, like, you know, a lot of bands that are releasing these, like, you know, these wonderful tracks, but so scalpeled and so, you know, not cleaned up, just, I guess scalpel's the best word, mixes. A lot of authenticity and the energy of the recording kind of stayed in context of it. I also love the little shifts in the dynamics too. There was that like a 6-minute mark, somewhere like that, whatever. It just got all really quiet where I thought the game was over. The track was over, and it had that nice, really beautiful glide to it and stuff. Great voice. Love the band. Love the I think it was a saxophone and a trumpet. But a very unique call to action for that. I don't know if they're part of the band or if that was just, unto itself with the track. But regardless, being from Singapore or not, you could have not said it was Singapore and it still would have flew, in the eyes of a lot of people here. I guess it was kind of like a post-hardcore kind of vibe. But bravo. That kicked ass and took no hostages. And thank you so much for that. Yeah, she definitely has a great voice. And she also showed a lot of different dynamics in her vocals, and that was really super cool. I liked when there's this little edge that she was able to fry up when she started getting up into what I would think might be the bridge before a chorus vibe. But yeah, great voice. Derpy Cat Dog, this is for you. And so Derpy Cat Dog would like, I guess this is an electronic. It's called the Unreal Tournament 1999. The song is Foregone Destructible, remixed by Necto Ulin. Derp Cat Dog said, haven't visited the channel for ages, but thought I'd drop in a song. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for your generous donation as well. So let's see what Derpy Cat Dog has for us. There you are. Hi, Derpy. This is nice. Maybe this was supported and produced by the Patreon contributions. I love the little sweepy pad there. That little pattern back there is really cool. Great tone. Great choice for that. Sounds like it could be monophonic. I love letting that bass line hang out because you know it's going to bang in a second, right? Is that what that's called? An amen break? I don't know the terminology. I love the sub bass on this. Oh, I see. It's a drum sample. Gotcha. You mean like the turnaround? Like that? Ah, D&D. Yeah, but I still have a hard time deciphering the difference between D&B music and rave and stuff. Like, what am I listening for to separate the two? Oh, that's what it is, Lisa. Okay. I guess that makes sense, Judgment. I'm just humming with the bass line on this. And that probably sounds banging with some, you know, woofers overloaded. Those big raves when people were like taking MDA, right, and tripping balls on like ecstasy and mushrooms, like full heroic doses with the light thingies. Oh, overlap stuff again. No, I'm not speaking from experience. Nice rich pad there. Love that. Throwing in some odd chord changes now in this point. You busted me cycling. I would have made that mistake. I love this pull on the mix. Take out the percussion so you can hear that bass in there digging through. I'll bet you at a rave you probably feel that bass line in here, huh? Like it would be rumbling. Great track, man. It had me popping off big time. And I was feeling really like, even though I'm listening to this, you know, and enjoying it, you know, with the nice pads and the stuff and the patterns that were going on, obviously it's a long stretch of music that might have 32 bars of things that don't necessarily change, which I remember there used to be in the 90s. It was kind of, I don't know if it was pre-Burning Man or whatever. They used to be called Moon Tribe. It was a California thing. Has anybody ever heard of Moon Tribe or whatever? Kind of similar, kind of not, kind of circling the heroic dose desert movement. But I remember that you could go like kind of 2 minutes listening to a pattern. And in the back of my mind as a composer, I'm going, man, are they going to ever change this? But I'm watching everybody involved in it just getting pulled in by it, you know? And I think that's part of the magic of it. You find, I think what's unique about that as a composer, you might specialize in that, is you got to find the right kind of tones if you're going to make patterns out of them, so they don't set your ear off on a different tangent. Like, okay, I'm getting tired of that sound, where you can actually repeat something. And so if you notice, there was a lot of more tamed, higher end stuff happening there until they hit you a little hotter with the more stacked synthy pad kind of vibe there. Had a little more of a sizzle on it. But be it the bass, very soft and rumbly, but then very sub in its tone. Like maybe a big boost at about 250 to like 800 or something. That just triggers those subs to just kind of fire off, and you kind of feel it boo, boo, boo. And just in case you didn't hear that, boo, 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 boo. Anyhow. Lisa, thank you too. I read your breakdown a little earlier about that kind of transition and how that music kind of shifted around. I appreciate that. Thank you. Excuse me. No, I mean, I guess it all changes, Lisa. I'm also reading what you just put there. You know, I don't know. I can't. I mean, we have a saying here in Hawaii. It's called Makavalu, and that is when you have an elephant. I use this as an example. You have an elephant in front of you, but 8 different people are explaining the elephant and where it came from and stuff. It's still the elephant and stuff. You might get different, like, you know, what's the derivative? How did this happen? And all this sort of stuff. It's still the elephant, but anyhow. Next up comes from Sheeb, Sheebb. We're going to be listening to this Fire Emblem, some jazz. Sheeb, are you still in the house? Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. It sounds boom, boom, boom. Oh, thank you. You like the streams. I appreciate that, Sheeb. This is one of my favorite covers of a Fire Emblem song. One of the coolest things about it is that the guy who's doing the cover is a voice actor for one of the main characters. Oh, that's fun. In the game. He's a great voice actor and also does a fantastic job with the saxophone cover. All right. Let's go. So, this is a saxophone cover of 3 Houses from Fire Emblem from one of the actual voiceover artists who performed in it. So, let's go. Nice. Great arrangements. Wow. Wow, this is wonderful. The artist's name is Joe Zieja, Zieja. These are badass arrangements. Beautiful key change. See that bassoon he's got back there? Oh, it's not a bassoon. Oh, I'm sorry. It was his rack. It looked like for a second. Sorry. Beautifully in tune, the resonance. The performance. Good. That was absolutely wonderful. Just absolutely wonderful. So that's who did the arrangements there. It sounded phenomenal, the way it was performed. Especially, you know, he's playing all the parts himself. And this is probably another super talented individual that the voiceover thing is just something else that happens. And, you know, all the talents that many people have and celebrate or don't get the opportunity to celebrate or whatever. I can't imagine that his voiceover skills are better than this. Like maybe this was his and still is his first love. And the voiceover thing is a very happy journey in his life as well to be able to still perform. And voiceover work is still acting, it's performing, it's cadence, it's tone, you know. And But that was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I really loved it. And once again, when you listen to something like this, I lean into a lot of the nuances. A little bit of the breathiness that you can hear because of the live performance. But Sheeb, this was great. Hey, and I noticed you popped in. But what a surprise. What a surprise, not a surprise, to find out how many multi-talents some people have. And it's funny because a lot of us, I know there's probably people out there that think they got no talent, but maybe you haven't dug it up yet. Or maybe you're hiding it and not doing anything with it. But, you know, we're a lot more than just one thing. But this isn't Dr. Phil Jeebs. So, but it was splendid. Yes, I agree with you. Splendid. Oniko 1337. It's been a while since I've done something from Dark Souls. So let's see what we got here from Dark Souls. This is, the track is called, Dark Souls is the game. The track is called A Kindle of Lordran. Lordran? Ooh, guys, this is live too. Oh, let's go. Oh, I love this. Before we do this, you know how I love to do this. When there's something live like this that comes up, for me, the excitement, not only to hear the music, is to be able to dial into the sections that are like emphasizing a particular part of the orchestration and the arrangements and stuff like that. See what the bassoon players are doing, what the brass guys are doing, and gals, and violinists, and whatever. I love to watch and pick out the parts and hear it and kind of A-B it. So I love, love, love these opportunities. Okay, let's go. Oh, job opening, I suck. My bad. Edit. Eeny, meeny, the mighty of Mo. Ugh. Is that Gene Simmons conducting? See that alto flute back there, guys? Oh, no, that's not an alto flute. That's a bass flute. I wasn't expecting that forte in the mix there. I like it when it pulls back into this, kind of resets it and bring it out again. Got the heavy in for the brass hitters. God, the ballsiness on the brass section work. I see the brass player back there laughing after that last line. Oh, camera job fail. I read a little more into this. This is the UCLA Game Music Ensemble. You know, so this was the ensemble from UCLA, and I actually recognized one of those, I think, that I had done before, maybe to the original music. It was always great to watch the musicians. They executed perfectly, but one of the things that I was really just having to kind of take deep breaths about was the fact that the room in of itself, this is just technical BS, but I just want to share it. Albeit the room or how it was that the sound engineer was working with the room, there was that overwhelming brass load in the ambience. of the room. This is not this. I'm throwing darts, but it's not a bad thing. It's kind of nice to kind of A/B different sounds of halls and rooms and stuff that you play. And also the techniques of the miking is very important, and the engineers is extremely important and everything. I was able to hear everything. It sounded really good. It was fun to watch the musicians play their parts and everything. I was just in my head. The reason why I got really quiet, I was like, I was calculating the tones, if that makes any sense. I was kind of, what's happening in the room here, you know? And then at certain points, I was kind of leaning in because I wanted to hear a little bit more of what I thought, where I'm watching and hearing somewhat of a flute woodwind lines in unison with strings and stuff. And I was so I'm sorry if I wasn't as, you know, boing, boing, boing with the review as much as it was. I was going, oh, where is it? You know, but it's wonderful. I will say this on the way out of this. It's incredibly wonderful that UCLA has a dedicated game ensemble orchestra. I think that's badass. That goes to show you how much of an impact game music has made in the world, to where tremendously well-known music schools such as UCLA will have its own game ensemble, even if it's just for that one semester, or maybe they tried it out for a couple seasons or whatever. I think that's great. I know, did you see the organist? He did have rear view mirrors. They have that because they got to watch what the conductor's doing. Good observation. Okay, next up, Shotwell. This is metal, guys. The band is called In Flames. So let's do that. Are you guys ready? The name of the track is A New Dawn. So he says he likes this song much better than his original Dono. He flipped it, but we're doing this. I've heard it, yeah, In Flames. I have listened to their music. I do recall it being super badass. So I share your, ooh, Lisa Wolf kind of vibe. That bitey bottom end with that bass. I like this a lot. I like how they sneak in the back, that high pad, string pad vibe, synth pad vibe. A lot of layering happening with the guitars, you know? Even if they have two guitar players, I'm not sure. I love this section, it's huge. Oh, I love that. This is a great section with those string follow-ups on the melody. The answer back might happen again. Wonderful. Huge. But still, they got those strings in our head. Wow. I love the squawky tone in that guitar lead we just had. The arrangements are great with the strings. That track had a lot of great elements in it. There was something, they always kept the power in the dust a bit. And what I mean by that is they had some part of an overdub that was going on there that was really pulled down in kind of a lo-fi part of their, let's say, guitar wall of sound. When they came in with their more powerful driving power chord-esque arrangements, it was a huge wall of sound, especially when they came out. They really knew how to hit us with the dynamics, come out of the mellow track or mellow section, like that really nice ethereal ambient kind of vibe we were all kind of glowing in for a minute. And then those strings, but wait a minute, I want to finish that. And then coming out of it and then hitting us in the balls with those, with the power of those, that wall of sound. But there was something unique that was happening, and I kind of thought I heard it on this side where they actually took one of the tracks and just sculpted it to the ridiculous, where they pulled out all the bottoms from, like, let's say 1,000 down, and then let the bubble pop, and then pull down right in the middle at about 2,500, and then let the bubble pop, and then pull it down at, like, let's say 5,000. So it gave it this weird kind of dusty vibe to it. I don't know if any of that stuff made sense. It's just that's how it translated in my head. And then, of course, the strings. Oh, I loved that, I think Lisa was mentioning something about, I forgot about that genre, mellow death. And I think this may have leaned a little bit more into that mellow death vibe because there was still some of the authenticity of the death or representation of the death metal, pushing through it, especially in the vocals. When those violins came in, though, that really caught me off guard. And then that was in that softer spot. But when everybody came back in and that wall of guitars hit us, they shoved the dBs up on the violin and stuff and made sure that it stayed as a very present part of the arrangement, even though it got louder. And that's a trick. I mean, think about it just for a second. If you were to have 6 violinists, let's say sitting right over here, and behind them is a, double stacked, 4x12s and giant bass cabs and drums and stuff, in any other stage setup, if everybody was to come banging in, we'd lose those guys in a heartbeat just by virtue of the power and the sound. But in the mixing, they really made sure that they gave the violins the life and made sure that it stayed present to tie over, in my world, the way I heard it, to tie us over and still keep us in step with the fact that we just came out of this earlier vibe that was like really chill with those strings coming in and still keeping that kind of, you're tying that in even though we're stepping off into a whole different vibe. Yeah, I went long on that, but I was excited. Sorry, that was just me. That was really good, Shotwell. I really appreciate it. Next up, only have 2 more. This one and one more, and I'm out of here. And that means I'm also done with the donos as well. Excuse me. So this is the Retro Modern Gamer wants a track. And the track is going to be... a song is called Missing Time, and it's from Fredrik Thordendal. Soul Niger Within. So let's see if that is what this is. What this is from the Retro Modern Gamer. Here we go. It's kind of Meshuggah adjacent, you're saying? Oh, he's one of the guitar players from Meshuggah. Okay. Oh man, that kit sounds really trippy. What's going on with those string arrangements?
Close encounters of the 4th kind are by far the most frightening abductions of human beings by aliens. According to those who claim to have been abducted, they're transported by a beam of light aboard a spacecraft, set up on an examination table, surrounded by strange creatures, probed and prodded as tissue and fluid samples are taken, and then returned to the point from which
Are you
they
sure
were
that's a
abducted,
UFO? It sounds like my
most often
hospital.
with little or no recollection of what happened. The one thing they know for certain is that minutes, even hours, have passed that they can't account for. This form of amnesia is known as missing time.
Right hand technique. Wow. Wow, very fusiony. wow. That whole thing was just so Alan Hallsworth for me. Come on, guys, if you know Alan Hallsworth, you got to be leaning on this, right? And it also has a little bit of that band that Mike Stern was in. I forgot the name of that band. Oh my god. Scott Henderson. What was the name of that band that Scott Henderson was in? That drummer and that bass player. Tribal tech. Very tribal tech. Wow. Oh, there's the sound of the bass, how wide that is. Or maybe it's being doubled by another arrangement, but... Jesus. Did you guys say this was the old player for Meshuggah, or is this a current guitar player and his side project? This was to no surprise to me though, because I also listen a lot actually to the other guitar player, or one of the guitar players that contributes to Meshuggah. I'm going to say his name wrong. Nils. Oh, I can't remember. Not Neil Peart. Something Nil or something. Niles or I can't remember his name. You guys help me with that, please. You know I'm not that good. Another tremendous musician. When I watch him play, and these two guys are in Meshuggah, and it's almost as if Meshuggah is their place where they can just power down and just bring it all out. What is it, Neil? Not Neil Young. Where these guys with this talent come into Meshuggah, and it's almost like their lounge music gig. No offense to Meshuggah, because Meshuggah is absolutely monstrous, legendary band. Thank you, Pierre Nilsson. Thank you. Legendary. Meshuggah is hands down the reason why so many bands have become as successful as they have if they leaned on Meshuggah as an influence. No two ways about it, full stop. But knowing that these musicians have this other passion that sounds like what we just heard is absolutely mind-numbing. You know? As a matter of fact, remember I was telling you about that other band, what is it right here? Tribal Tech with Scott Henderson. And let me see who else really quick, who was in this band really quick. Give me a second here. Scott Henderson, Gary Wills, and Scott Kenzie. I got to play this for you guys. Just bear with me, okay? This is one of their tracks called Saturn 5. Very unique vibes with that pushed jazz fusion thing going here. Scary Will is killing it on the bass. They all do. They're crushing it. Oh, it's Kurt Covington on the drums. Dope. Scott's on the keyboards. Guitar. I mean, I guess this can also name the video game you think this might fit in. Very Risk of Rain, yeah. Chris would be listening to this going, crushing it. Far out there, man. I don't know why. It's so beautifully disjointed. That bass is right. Just a trippy ass track, and the reason why I played that following the other one, actually, the other one was a bit more complex. No two ways about it. But it is. I think a lot of people were wondering if like the other one was played in any specific locked meter, or it sounded like it was like more free flowing in how it was being performed. I brought this together with that to show that even these guys are smoking musicians, and all of these wonderful natural nuances when they actually go off and do their leads, you know, a very high percentage of time they play this track 3 or 4 times. They're not hitting the same exact note in every single bar and stuff like that. They're leaning into a slight improv, you know, around certain sections and stuff, which gives you that kind of like really loose performance vibe to it, which really elevates the impact of it emotionally, you know. The Gary Wills guy, before we go to the last song of the stream, Gary Wills, the bass player, I watched a clinic on him, and he has the most unique bass right hand I've ever seen. Most bass players you'll see will hold it this way. You're playing your bass like this. You know, there's many different ways to play it. And then I took some lessons from a famous bass player that was telling me to play it kind of like I'm flicking fingers this way. That was his particular style that he really enjoyed using most of the time. That was a bass player named Abraham Boreal. So he showed me that his main technique was this kind of a thing. But Gary Willis' technique is having all of each finger assigned to a string, and he plays this way. So there's none of this stuff going up and down or anything that's happening here. That everything he's doing is actually this way, which was so unique to watch. I was like, wow, you know, like coming up with your own style and your own jam, you know what I'm saying? That was just the way to play it. Which, of course, gives way to the unique sound that a human plays an instrument. 1,000 bass players out there is going to have 1,000 different ways of playing the same thing because of just how they play. Play. So before I leave, this is the last track coming up. I want to thank all of you for hanging out today. This was a Dono makeup session. I really appreciate it. Sorry, no Wheel of Cheese today. I might be getting sick. I hope not. So Wheel of Cheese Wednesdays is always dedicated to the Wheel of Cheese. It looks like the days I'm going to be leaning into for the rest of this year is just going to be Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturdays. Every time I've said that, something's happened, but that's what I'm leaning into. Thank you so much for coming out and hanging out and enjoying your time, and breaking up your long weekend if you got Monday off because of the holidays. So let's go ahead and do our last track here, which comes from the Driver 458. The name of the band is Kinnship, and the name of the song is Easy Yoke. I first heard this track a few years ago when my cousin played it in his car while we were on our way to a gig for a wedding. I had pre-gig jitters upon hearing this song. I like that. I mean, I immediately mellowed out with the first 15 seconds. All right, so let's do this. Here we... Oh, hiccup. Go. Sorry. Very unique in its loopiness.
Your diamond crusted necklace surely looks the part, but it's hanging oh so heavy around your broken heart. And no, I'm not the one who
this is nice. I love this. This is a no overthinking production. There's a little warm pulsating in one of the patches. It breathes. Kind of like the vocals being slightly off left. Agreed, Lisa. Very chill. You're worth your weight in gold. Love that. What a way to end the stream. Such a beautiful track. So warm. I mean, even in the mastering, even they kept the highs kind of under control. There wasn't a lot of stuff that would have popped off the highs in the sounds that they chose to write this or use. Maybe a little bit of the snappiness. Can you hear I'm wheezing. Maybe I am getting sick. I hope not. Anyhow, they kept it really warm. I really did like that odd dynamic that his voice was slightly at about like 10 o'clock left side. But there was a zero pre-delay reflection on this side, so there was still not like it was lopsided as much as it is a production choice. And when I mentioned earlier there wasn't an overthinking of the production, it really sounded just like they just brought this in. They put there was a little bit of like a chamber or a spring reverb on one of the percussive things. That I said, okay, well that's. The intention of that might be to have a little bit of that high-endness present in the mix. But there were these really nice little sequences that were happening back in there, and that little pad that I was telling you swelling about, and swelling was swelling about. And so it was just really soft. It was just really soft and mellow track that was just wrapped around. How do I say this? It's like a croissant wrapped around a hot dog. What do you call those hot dog things? The croissant is like it's not packed on there. It's just a very I don't know.